the unexpected call. It was a quiet evening when his phone rang. An unknown number appeared on the screen, but out of curiosity, he answered. "Hello?" he said, unsure of who was calling. A soft, female voice responded, "Oh, I think I called the wrong number. I'm sorry." "No problem," he replied, about to hang up. But before he could, the voice asked, "How are you doing?" Surprised, he paused for a moment. "I'm fine," he said. There was a brief silence, then a click. She had hung up. He shrugged it off, thinking it was just a random mistake. But the next night, around the same time, his phone rang again. It was the same number. "Hello?" he said. "How are you doing?" the same voice asked, as if they had spoken just moments ago. "I'm fine," he replied, slightly puzzled. And just like the night before, she hung up without another word. For the next few nights, this strange routine continued. She would call, ask how he was doing, listen to his answer, and then hang up. At first, he found it amusing. Maybe it was some odd prank, or perhaps she was lonely. But after several calls, he began to grow frustrated. One evening, when the familiar call came through, he picked up with a sharper tone. "Hello? How are you doing?" she asked, her voice calm and gentle, as usual. "Why do you keep calling and asking me the same thing every night?" he snapped, his patience finally wearing thin. "What's your deal?" There was a pause, and for the first time, the woman spoke after his answer. Her voice was softer, more hesitant this time. "If you're not fine, why did you say you are? I must have been bothering you." Without waiting for a response, she hung up. For the first time in weeks, the phone was silent the next evening, and the night after that. Days passed, and then a week. The silence left a strange emptiness in his life. He hadn't realized it, but he had grown used to her voice, to someone checking on him, even if it was in the most peculiar way. Now, without her calls, his nights felt lonelier. He caught himself thinking about her, wondering who she was, and why she had called him in the first place. Her absence felt heavier as the days turned into weeks. Months passed, and though he tried to forget about the strange caller, he couldn't shake the memory of her voice. The way she had asked how he was doing, night after night, had left a mark on him. He found himself yearning for that odd connection, no matter how brief and confusing it had been. Then one evening, his phone rang. His heart raced as he looked at the screen. It was her. Without hesitation, he answered. "Hello?" She sounded surprised, as if she hadn't expected him to pick up so quickly. "Did you miss me?" she asked, her voice laced with curiosity. "Yes," he admitted, feeling a smile creep onto his face. She laughed, and the sound was different this time. It was warm and genuine, a far cry from the distant voice he had grown accustomed to. There was something comforting in her laughter that made him feel at ease. The silence stretched between them for a moment, before he asked, almost instinctively, "How are you doing?" There was a pause on the other end of the line, and when she answered, her voice was soft again. "I'm fine." But this time, his smile faded, his laughter disappeared, and he felt a knot tighten in his chest. She noticed the change immediately. "Are you going to hang up on me now?" she asked, her voice teasing but tinged with something deeper. He didn't hang up. Instead, he found himself lost in the quiet between them, realizing that this strange, fleeting connection meant more than he ever thought it would. For the first time, the question wasn't just part of their nightly ritual. It mattered. "No," he said softly. "I'm not hanging up. She didn't either.